Foundational ethos of Kom Governance. Platforms for governance in Kom. The Kom people are among the many different ethnic groupings inhabiting the Western Grassfields of Cameroon and the Central African sub-region. Kom as a people has an administrative structure and institutions which are built around community relationships. These community relationships are tangible, interconnected, and include the visible and the invisible. The fawn is the leader and the symbol of authority. He governs together in a symphony with various assisting institutions which are political, social, religious, juridical, medical, spiritual, moral, and psychological in nature. The platforms of governance include the 𝐿, 𝐿, 𝐷, 𝐸, 𝐿, 𝐴kum, 𝐸𝐴, and 𝐿u, 𝐵, and 𝐴faf institutions. 𝐸, being as essentially community-centered. The notion of 𝐸, being, existence, leads one to understand the Kom worldview, which informs and interprets the practice of leadership, authority, and governance. All people are either active players or potential players, and there is rupture when one does not take up his proper role. The spirit of co-responsibility is best captured by the Kom-wise saying, "Wulengewul bomwul." Literally, a person is a person because of a person. That is, one exists in others, or one exists because of others. In the classical description of Ubuntu, I am because we are, and since we are, therefore I am. In traditional life, the individual does not and cannot exist alone except corporately. He is simply part of the whole. The notion of being inspires the Kom ethos of governance, which is aptly expressed with the metaphor of 𝐿, the three Kom hands, namely 𝐿, 𝐴, that is, child, food, and prosperity. The ontological understanding of existence is derived from being itself, that is, the source of all being, 𝐜𝐨𝐻𝐸, God. 𝐿 as the standard for the ethical evaluation of governance. In the light of the foundational principles of Kom ethos of governance, the three Kom hands metaphor reigns supreme. When the Kom person says 𝐸, I am, it has a special meaning. Literally, it means I am, but deeply embedded in I am are the allusions it brings to mind about the spiritual world and the cherished social values of the Kom kingdom, namely 𝐿, the three Kom hands, 𝐿, 𝐴, 𝐸𝐴. That is, the increase of fertility, production of more food crops, and the general prosperity of the Kom kingdom. 𝐿 reveals not only the social values on which the life of the Kom depends for survival and continuity, but also shows how these social values of Kom are related to Kom's metaphysical monistic hierarchy. The all-embracing nature of kingship portraying the fawn as a religious person exercising his spiritual and secular authority, but in complete liaison with the ancestors and 𝐜𝐸𝐻𝐸 at the apex of the hierarchy. Child, 𝐿. In literal terms, 𝐿 simply means the child. In Kom wisdom, the child symbolizes all human beings and all that goes to maintain human dignity. Human life is valued most, and so the governance structure is built around the protection of the human person, even before the moment of conception to death at a ripe old age. Many births in the family are a guarantee of one's future progeny and the survival of the Kom society. Anything that militates against the bringing forth of children is held in abhorrence. This explains why there are many royal and family rituals centered around family life: marriage, preconception, conception, the birth of the child, maturing of the person, and death celebrations, leading one into the world of the ancestors. The governance system oversees and guarantees that all this takes place in each family and village, at home or in the diaspora. Afojina, food. Afojina symbolizes all that is eaten to keep the person in integral health, that is, physical, mental, spiritual, moral, psychological, and social. These include those elements that are taken in either directly or indirectly, like air, water, medicinal and nutritional substances, and anything that nature has made which strengthens human immunity and gives it a balance. In its symbolic significance, Afojina has more meaning to the Kom person. This is why there are rituals for the fertility of the land and the control of rainfall, storms, hailstones. Thus, the governing institution of the Fon and his Kwifon appeals constantly to all for more cultivation of foodstuffs in the land. 𝐤-𝐦𝐚𝐢𝐥, prosperity. Prosperity symbolizes any form of progress and development. This includes all other forms of material riches according to the Kom world view. When one is leaving home in search of a better future, the prayers offered on his behalf in the family shrine and in the wishes are that he achieves the 3 Kom Hands. This holds for the advice and prayers offered for those who are marrying. Successful marriage life and a successful mission abroad are marked and evaluated using the standards of the 3 Kom Hands. 𝐤-𝐦𝐚𝐢𝐥 extends to health. The health of the people, the health of the crops and animals, the health of the whole environment. A healthy population is a wealthy population. The Fon as promoter and protector of 𝐴𝐻-𝐶𝑜𝑚. The embodiment of Kom's way of life is summarized in the 3 Kom Hands philosophy. This implies that the Fon has as his primary duty to protect, nurture, and ensure that people live guided by these principles. The Fon himself is evaluated in a system of checks and balances using these same principles. The 3 Kom Hands forms the basis for the legislative, executive, and administrative systems in Kom. In this light, the simple laws and principles laid down by parents to govern their families to the more complex regulations, traditions, taboos, and laws guiding the whole of Kom are built on the 3 Kom Hands principles and wisdom. As guardian of the 𝐴𝐻-𝐶𝑜𝑚, Nafoin is the mother of the Fon. Her role is very vital. In the history of migration, it is to the Nafoin that the Fon gave his will before disappearing at Babisi. She led the people with intelligence and tact to the present settlement. When the fawn joins the ancestors, she sits on the throne, protects it until the new fawn is installed. As such, she is the guardian of the kingdom, and thus the three Kom Hands. She plays an important role in organizing and regulating the ANLO, an exclusively women's judicial institution. In general, the woman is held in very high esteem in Kom tradition. There can be no child without the inevitable role played by the woman. As a society of subsistence agriculture, the woman plays a major role in the cultivation of food crops. She plays a major role in the family and in the internal and external structures of administration of the society. The Kom woman plays the irreplaceable role of bringing up the children and grooming them to become responsible and prosperous members of the community. In conclusion, we may say that authority in Kom tradition is communitarian and at the same time distributive. Each one has his role and knows the level at which to exercise it for governance to be effective. There is a clear and well-designed structure geared towards enabling the whole system to concretely realize the standards embedded in the three Kom Hands for a healthy, populous, and flourishing community. Thus, this forms the standards for evaluation of leadership, the governance system, and those in authority. Questions for reflection. Which are the platforms of governance in your chiefdom or fawndom or traditional society? Are there some guiding principles that are used as standards to evaluate those governing your chiefdom, fawndom, traditional society? Are there any forms of checks and balances in the governance system of your chiefdom, fawndom, traditional society?
𝐿-𝐸𝐤𝐲